Okay, I'm just going to do two examples where we use a calculator to solve them. So I have a situation here where I have y1 equals 7 times parentheses 3x minus 2, in parentheses then plus 5. And I have y2 equals 6 times 2x minus 1 plus 24. And I want to solve this using a calculator. So what I do is I go and get my calculator, which apparently isn't running. Okay, try it again. All right. Get my okay. See if it feels like working now. Okay. So I go in here and I clear this out. I don't need, this is from the other day, so it's gone. All right, so I type in the equation. I have to be very careful to make sure all the parentheses are in the right spot. There's my y1, and for my y2, all right. Now I'm going to hit graph and see what happens. All right. So I was using this the other day to do some of those videos. So the window's all messed up. Let's hit zoom standard and see what happens. Okay, so I see these graphs. It looks like it's going to intersect above the window. So I hit window. I'm going to go to my Y maximum and I'm going to make it bigger. And I don't know how much bigger it needs to be. I'm just going to hit 50. All right, now I can't really see my graphs. So up here is where I think the intersection is going to be. So I'm going to go back to my window. I'm going to make this X smaller. It does not need to be that big. So I'm going to make it go from -2 to 2. And I'm going to make it go up to 60. So I don't know, I mean, you know, I just kind of have to play around with it. Oh, I cut it off too much. So getting the window domains is more of an art than a science. So we just play around with it. Almost, it's way up there. Okay, so I'm going to go back. One thing I'm going to do is change the X scale to 10 instead of 1 because I don't like the real thick axis. And I'm going to add another 15. So -10 to 75. All right, now that looks good. Okay. Now I go to Calc. And I'm going to find the intersection. So go down to Intersect. It asks me for the first curve. So there's only 2 showing. I hit Enter, and I hit Enter. And it wants a guess, so I help it out by getting close to that intersection. And hit Enter. And we get X equals 3 and Y equals 54. But the X equals 3 is the one that I am interested in. So let's go back. Okay, and I'm going to check this by hand to make sure I didn't make a mistake. So my x is 3. So I'm going to apply order of operations. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. So I get 49 plus 5 equals 54. Okay, so I should get the same thing on the other one. So I take that and I'm going to plug in 3 for x. Two times 3 is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, so the answer that I got on the last page for y1 is the same as the what I got for y2 on this page. So I'm probably right based on my check. Okay, now the next one we're going to look at x over, or 5 over x plus 4 plus 3 over x plus 3 equals 12x plus 9 over x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay, so we could probably practice with some stuff, or like, you know, factor this one side or expand this, but we're just going to use our calculator. So we go and get our calculator. Oh, so what I'm going to do, this is going to be y1, and this is going to be y2. Okay, so go to the calculator. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear my problem from last time. 5 divided by, and don't forget parentheses around the denominator. You will not get the right answer if you do not put parentheses. Okay, so 5 over x plus 4 plus 3 over x plus 3. Okay, now the top has multiple terms for the y2, so I have to put them into, put the numerator in parentheses as well as the denominator. So parentheses around the top, divided by parentheses around the bottom, x squared, that's the wrong thing. X squared plus 7x plus 12. Close parentheses. Okay, so now I hit graph. Okay, so this is set for last time's problem, and so it's really hard to tell what's going on. So I'm going to go zoom standard, and now, I got that stuff. And interesting. I wonder what happens if we go to table. So we get an error. Let's start with just taking units. And we're looking for a place where they're the same. And so we just kind of scroll through here. I don't think I'm going to find it that way. Let's go back the other way. Let's see. You see how close those values are right there? I bet there's a solution in that area. So let's hit plus, and let's refine it to 0.5. And we were in that area there. Looky there. 9.98824.98824. So 4.5. Now we are not, we're confident that that might be our answer. So what we're going to do is we can do a couple of things. We're going to go back to graph. We're going to change our window. And we're going to look just around 4.5, so minus from 0 to 6. And then that was a really small number, so I'm going to just go from like -1 to 2. And we're going to graph that and see what that looks like. Okay, so there's one of the functions, or one of the graphs, and there's the other one. All right, and it gets really close right there. So let's do trace and type in 4.5. All right. What happens if so I can jump between functions using the up and down arrow. Okay, so I can't really tell what's going on there. So what I'm going to do is so I still think that 4.5 is my answer. So I come over here and I'm going to evaluate my two sides at 4.5. And so I get 5 over 8.5 plus 3 over 7.5, and then use my calculator. 5. No, I'm not sharing. I'm just going to flip over here real quick. 5 divided by 8.5 plus 3 divided by 7.5. So I'm going to convert that to a fraction. And I get 84 over 85. Okay. Now, on the other side, 12 times 4.5 plus 9 divided by 4.5 squared plus 7 times 4.5 plus 12. Okay, so order of operations says I'm going to calculate the numerator, I'm going to calculate the denominator, and then I'm going to divide them. So I'm going to calculate the numerator. 12 times 4.5 plus 9, and that comes out to be 63. And then do it for the denominator. So 4.5 squared plus 7 times 4.5 plus 12. And I get, it's a fraction, 255 over 4. Okay, so I need to take 63 divided by 255 over 4. I'm going to do that in my calculator. And hopefully it comes out to 84 over 85. So 63, and we'll need to put the denominator in parentheses, 255 divided by 4. And it does. It comes out to 84 over 85. So 84 over 85 is not my answer. What my answer is, x equals 4.5, and I can consult my calculator. Oh, well, might be able to do it in my head. So 4.5 is 8 halves plus another. You can put it into your calculator and do the math frac, and it comes out to be 9 halves. So we didn't solve it by hand, but we used multiple technology methods, graphing, using the table to come up with plausible solutions, and then verifying by evaluating each side by our suspected solution.